Hello, math students. We're going to start on the next lesson here. I do want to thank those of you who have logged on, watched the videos, and done the Google form questions. It's been really useful for me to know if we're understanding and we're ready to move on, and it looks like many of you are doing very, very well. So we're moving on to multiplication. We're going to do a little work of making sense of that. So I love this first question here. It wants to know which x, and so remember a letter holds the place value of some number. And we're trying to figure out which of these x's would be the biggest number. And if I look, they're all being multiplied by 10, but they get different answers. 810, this x is times 10, it gets 81. We're used to multiplication where when we multiply two numbers, we get a bigger answer. When it comes to decimals, that can change because look at here, this x times 10 is getting something smaller than 10, and then the next one's even smaller. So the x that would have to be the largest would have to give us the biggest valued answer, which goes all the way back to this first one. I'm going to scroll down to this question. There's a partner A, partner B. I'm just going to walk us through partner A. Now, we've got some fractions being shown here because we've talked about place values and decimals being tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And so it's nice to see it as a fraction. We've multiplied with fractions before. I'm going to refresh your memory. I'm going to pause. If you'd like to try to solve this one, you could pause as well while I get my answer written. And then when you come back, you'll see the answer come up on the screen. All right, now you can see my sloppy writing. So to make 250 into a fraction, remember we can put it over 1. And then for multiplication, we multiply right across. So 250 times 1 is 250. 1 times 10 is 10. I'm going to simplify this fraction by dividing both the top and bottom by 10. It's improper, but it's also able to be divided. And so if you skip over here, I divide it by 10, I'm left with 25 over 1, or a solution of 25. I'm now going to take 250 and I'm going to times it by 1/100th. And so we'll see what we get there. I'll get my work up on the screen. All right, pretty similar work, except we had a 100 down here. So we end up with 250 over 100. I know I can divide by 10 to simplify this. And that took me to 25 tenths. Now 25 tenths is improper, and you could continue to change it to a mixed number and pull out two groups of 10 and have 5 tenths left over. I realized it was 25 divided by 10, and so I'm going to get 2.5 or 2.5 for a solution here. The next problem is going to have you look at division. And if I see 48 divided by 10, I'm actually going to refer back to this part right here. When I divided 25 by 10, my decimal moved in one place value. So that means for C, I should have 4.8. I moved my decimal in one place value. So if I'm going to divide 48 by 100 for D, that means I'm moving my place value in two places. So for D, I should get 0.48. So moving it in twice to get there. Okay. There's some more practice problems down here. I want you to try to figure out where your 36, your 24.5, your 1.8, your 54, your 9.2, those will be in your answers. These numbers over here are going to move the decimals. So I want you to try these problems. I'd like you to hit pause, try them. When you hit play, my answers will be there for you to check. So push pause. All right, so there are the solutions to these. If we are multiplying by a tenth or 0.1, so remember that this is the same as what I did up here. It's just the decimal format of that fraction. So 36 times 1/10 or 0.1 moves the decimal in one place. Same with the 24.5. I moved it in one place into the 4. Same with C. I had to move the decimal 1. When I times by 100th, now that that's the decimal version, that scooted my decimal two places. And then on this one, it moved it so much that I actually had to fill in a 0, because if I move 2 away from the 9, so 1, 2, I have an empty spot I have to fill leading up to my decimal I would put out front. We'll keep working with this. I'll send some practice problems, but we will continue to practice this.